Today on Legally Us, Faith Stowers sues Bravo and former Vanderpump cast as Diddy's son is accused of assault. While Morgan Wallen is arrested for throwing a chair off a rooftop. We got that plus so much more in today's Legally Us. Everyone, and welcome to Legally Us, where we break down all the latest legal drama with your favorite stars. Joining me today is Ron Zambrano, partner at West Coast Trial Lawyers, filling in for Nima. Ron, it's so good to see you.
It's great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So we have a lot of legal news to get to, starting with former Vanderpump Rules star Faith Stowers. Now, she has filed a lawsuit against Bravo, its parent company, NBC Universal, and the production company, Evolution Media, for discrimination and harassment, among several other allegations. So she claimed in the lawsuit that she was driven out of the show by a vicious campaign of racist harassment and retaliation. Now, this is according to the court documents that we obtained last week. So the suit claimed that Faith was subjected to racism, sexual harassment, and physical assault in just her first season when she reported her mistreatment to NBC and Evolution, the network and production company, respectively. She was warned in no uncertain terms to keep quiet and play nice. We have reached out to Bravo and NBC Universal for comment. We have yet to hear back from them. But she also, now she appeared as the only Blac cast member on 2 seasons of the show from 2015 to 2017 before her departure. She also claimed that she was paid a total of $5,000 for her first season, a figure she assumed would rise over time. During her VPR tenure, she alleged that fellow star Lala Kent grabbed a knife from a nearby counter and began brandishing it towards her while filming the show. She allegedly reported the events to NBC and Evolution, who, according to the filing, began to cover up almost immediately. So this is just one of the many lawsuits that have come forward against Bravo. But what do you make of this one? Because she also goes after several of her former castmates as well.
Right. So this one's more of a employment law kind of angle, using rights as an employee, harassment, discrimination, I'm making complaints, my health and safety are at risk. Please do something. Help me, employer who is Bravo. What's kind of goes into play with these kind of cases when you have to deal with most in entertainment industry, you have to deal with NDAs and also arbitration agreements. So there is a very good chance that this will be put into arbitration, or an arbitration agreement will try to be enforced. Now, if she's making claims of that the harassment is sexual in nature, right? I know it's racial, but if she makes an allegation that it is sexual in nature, that's one exemption from the being forced into arbitration that is very, very new. And maybe if she has it, to keep it in, arbitration is good for the employer because everything's secret. But with sexual harassment, we don't want to keep those things quiet. With the NDA won't help anything having to do with legal matters. You can't you can't insulate yourself from liability with an NDA.
Right. And what about what happens with the allegation against Lala? Because, like we said, She names other Vanderpump, including Jax Taylor, Brittany Cartwright, Kristen Dowdy, Stassi Schroeder. She was Kristen and Stassi were fired after their racial allegation or racial comments against Faith back in the day. So what happens with those castmates right now?
So anyone that's individually named as a defendant for the harassment or assault in the legal sense is, doing something that makes me afraid you're about to hit me. All those people are potentially personally liable for any damages associated with the claim. Now, that's the lawyering. What did you suffer because of that individual's individual conduct, like waving the knife or calling you? I think waving a knife is not as painful as being called some type of racial epithet, right? Or something that you went through sexually. So if it has to do with your sex. So these are more things having to do with damages of emotional distress. But if the lawyers do a good job and can solicit evidence that individual conduct caused the emotional distress, then the individuals themselves would be personally liable for those damages.
So she's starting her own podcast now to talk about her time on Bravo and, what kind of went down. As an attorney, would you advise her to not do that? Because as this is just beginning, I guess.
I would tell her that's a stupid idea. I mean, to be frank, if she were my client, I'd be like, if you want any chance of being taken seriously in this lawsuit by either the judge or a jury, if you don't get forced into arbitration, you need to keep your credibility. And if you do a podcast, it seems like this is more about garnering attention for something that is secondary to the rights that you're trying to enforce. It's a dumb idea.
Yeah. Do you feel like some of these lawsuits are doing that more for like attention, I guess? Because it seems like so many past reality stars are doing like this takedown of Bravo, and it's not really getting the momentum that I feel like they want.
I don't want to say that, because I think there is a momentum from these people that were participating and being solicited to make money for these for Bravo or TLC, whoever. I think they're trying to assert their rights that they were denied initially. Now, I think you should judge people what they do afterwards. For instance, trying to create a podcast. Are you really trying to protect yourself when you're going to talk about everything anyway, which I know the lawyer's telling them not to do? So in the initial filing, I think it's quick to judge, to tell people, this might be not meritorious. But if they start acting in a way where they're like, well, you're no longer acting like you're hurt or a victim, or you're acting kind of like you're just trying to get money afterwards, then I think those circumstances can lead to that.
Definitely. All right, let's move right along to Diddy, because, the story is going to be going on for quite some time. So a lawyer for Diddy and his youngest son, Christian King Combs, has slammed the attorney representing the woman accusing King of assault. So Aaron Dyer cautioned the public to meet the potential lawsuit with skepticism, pointing the finger at the accuser's attorney. So he went on to say, Grace, this woman's name is Graves. She claims that King sexually assaulted her while she was working on a yacht that his father chartered in 2022. So King's father is charged in the same suit for premises liability and for aiding and abetting King in the alleged assault. It was said that Blackburn was just slapped by a federal judge in New York earlier this week for his pattern of behavior in improperly filing cases in federal court to garner media attention, embarrass defendants with salacious allegations, and pressure defendants to settle quickly. So it seems like we said, this attorney is slamming this latest sexual assault lawsuit, but now it seems like Diddy's sons are involved. We know that they were involved in the home raid as well. So what do you kind of make of the latest in this saga?
I think this is one of a long string of plaintiffs that are going to come forward against Diddy or his son with regards to very serious things that have happened. This all started with Cassie, right? How that kind of started and then stopped, but everyone was waiting. So I think this is something that should be taken seriously instead of brushed under the rug or ignored. Now, I believe that Diddy's team and Diddy's son are taking it seriously, but this is now a PR war, right? And sometimes the PR war and the legal war don't actually have the same goal. Which is, I'm not a celebrity and I don't have to worry about that.
What do you make? I've asked Nima this too, but now we're getting weeks away from the FBI raid. Why hasn't he been arrested yet? The longer the wait, is it less likely that he will be arrested, or are they still just trying to build this case around him?
Right. So building the case is probably what they're doing. And what that means from a being on the ground is that you're going through a bunch of information that was just seized, putting it into evidence, categorizing it, giving it to prosecutors for them to see where in the wall that they're trying to build it fits. That doesn't happen overnight. So I do not think that the lack of how would we say the quick, that this isn't being done quickly doesn't in any way signal that it won't happen eventually. Yeah.
What do you think is going on Diddy's side right now?
I think he's trying to call as many people that he have something on him and trying to buy him out, because that's what from a practical standpoint, you're trying to control witnesses that can add to an arsenal that the prosecutors already have. You're just trying to figure out who can I rely on and not, and also to see if you can make a deal with the feds, but he's got to be charged with something first.
Right. So do you feel like this will eventually go to a trial, or do you think that he'll try, like you said, kind of work something out where he could settle beforehand?
Once he's indicted, he should absolutely look to see what kind of deal he can get. I mean, everybody's, I don't know, allegedly indicted is what I should say, but I think it's going to happen. But once that happens, he should work very diligently with his attorneys to figure out, how can I not go to prison and avoid losing everything that I've built?
Sure. But if you are charged with like a sex trafficking and things like that's not something that you could settle. You're going to jail for that.
Right. And what I mean by settling is make a plea deal.
Right.
You're making a plea deal versus not settling, paying the government out, but making a plea deal. That's what I'm referring to.
All right, moving on. So footage of Morgan Wallen sitting in a police car outside of fellow musician Eric Church's Chiefs Bar in downtown Music City went viral in the early hours of April 8th. So he was booked early on 3 counts of felony reckless endangerment and 1 count of misdemeanor disorderly conduct for throwing a chair from the rooftop of Chiefs Bar. The chair landed on Broadway close to 2 police officers. His bond was set for over $15,000. Metro Nashville police officers were reportedly, like I said, standing outside the bar when a chair fell from above them, hitting the ground close to where they were positioned. This is really scary. I mean, this was 6 stories high. People could have been seriously injured. People could have died if this went on them. How much trouble is he in right now?
World of trouble. Trouble. Under those specific circumstances, because any object from 6 stories high is going to injure somebody, a chair can potentially kill someone. Mm-hmm. So he may be charged with something having to do with using a deadly weapon. And also he has prior history of acting out of control when he's drinking. So that might come into play, and that whoever gets jurisdiction of him, the judge, they'll get jurisdiction of him, and the prosecutors may go like, listen, this is a pattern. He almost killed somebody. We need to really send a message to him and go and throw the book at him to the extent that the facts allow him to, which may include jail time. But, the other part of the story is apparently when the cops looked up, he was laughing.
Yeah, I mean, he was laughing. Right.
And you can't blame being drunk. If you get intentionally intoxicated, whatever your acts are on you, whether you're drunk or not.
Mm-hmm. So you feel like he could face, like you said, some jail time? Would he maybe have to go to like a rehab or something like that to deal with like his alcohol abuse, or maybe?
Yeah. He'll be absolutely. The first thing the judge is going to do, like, this guy needs help or should be in help, but he's going to throw him in some type of program where he has to be supervised and checking in an onerous, very cumbersome way that, is not convenient to his schedule. And also he might be facing jail time and serious fines. And not only that, right? There were cops that he could have hit, right? Like this is very, very serious. He's in a world of trouble.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, and there were so many witnesses. People have it on video too. So he really can't get out of it.
No, he can't get out of it. No, I think he's going to be facing real serious jail time. Absolutely. He'll be told to go to some type of program. He'll be very cumbersome. So to try to send a message to him, like, you have to change the way you act, or you have to change your relationship with alcohol.
Yeah, no, because like you said, he's been in trouble before, so feels like this is all snowballing into this latest incident. So very lucky that nobody got hurt, though. He really was. Right. Well, Ron, thank you so much for breaking it all down. It's always so wonderful to get your expertise and insight. So really appreciate you coming on.
No, glad to be here. Thank you.